evening and welcome to Tinkering with Edkelar. Life is still very stressful around here, so instead of rushing a new project just for the sake of my video schedule, I drenched my archives for some older footage that has not yet been processed. This is to say, stagehands might look slightly younger, with a few less scars even. On the bench is an original Commodore C64. The restoration process is from 2018. Back when I was restoring my SX64, my first proper restoration and tinkering video, I got a couple of cheaper units for parts. Turns out I didn't need the parts, and so I started to work on the bread bins eventually. This particular one seems in good nick. A bit scuffed in the plastic, slightly discolored, but all keys seem to be functional and nothing obvious is missing, except for the power brick. I ordered one of the new replacements. After opening up the case, it seems to be complete and untouched. The RF shield cardboard is still in place and smooth. Flipping it back reveals that the heatsink that covers the VIC chip has come loose. It's still holding on somewhat on one side, but just popped out of the solder joints on the other. The board looks pristine. No visible touch-ups or after-factory soldering as far as I can tell. Just decades of dust. The keyboard is up next, removing it from the case for some in-depth cleaning. It is needed. Sorry, I have to write an eviction notice for all the dust bunnies between the keys. Shoo, shoo. After removing the power LED, I carefully remove the badges from the case. They are in almost mint condition and I don't want to damage them when cleaning and treating the case itself. I used a flat knife blade as a spatula to avoid any kinks. The badges are metal and any hard bend would certainly be visible. Looking over the board is next. Some more dust bunnies and ancient capacitors. Now to the keyboard. One key at a time, and it won't cost me a dime. Back then I didn't have a key puller yet, but carefully prying with a screwdriver does the trick too. Just make sure the key lifts off straight up, not at an angle. You can see me pushing back from the opposite side. Oh, and snapping a picture of the keyboard before taking the keys off will help during assembly. Ask me how I know. The caps lock key is a true mechanical toggle switch with those, which is a different switch from the rest and not PCB mounted. A real down-to-earth through-hole component. I'm here all week. Normally, the inside of the keyboard between the PCB and the cover plate is at least somewhat clean, but here we have another wad of lint. I tried to also remove the sticker, but it wouldn't come off at all. So it's in it for the ride then. I give the case some good cleaning and found that one of the screw posts has snapped off. So it wasn't a missing screw after all. And next, of course, is the recapping time. The most challenging part here was the heatsink plate for the VIC. It does a mediocre job of keeping the VIC chip cool, but it does a phenomenal job of sucking heat away from the solder iron. That's the most likely reason it failed in the first place. Cold solder joint even from the factory. While I'm at it, I also want to take care of the RF module. The shield can is also a challenge for any soldering iron. After cleaning the board and spritzing the IC sockets with some contact cleaner, I add fresh thermal paste to the heatsink of the voltage regulator. Going to replace that with a DC to DC brick eventually, as those will not act so much as a space heater. The ground planes for the larger electrolytics are also a bit of a challenge. And now, reassembly. Whoops, almost forgot the bracket for the side-facing parts. What I did forget, however, was the record button for the keyboard assembly. So here, have some footage from the second bread bin project I have lingering around as a placeholder. They all look the same anyhow. And here we go. It still works and can print stuff. I hope you enjoyed this little blast from the past. See you next time. I hope you enjoyed this little blast from the past. See you next time. So close.